Welcome back, my friend, for this family talk show. We are talking about a very interesting subject, a subject that has been trending all over the world, and especially in our country these few last days and weeks. We have heard about LGBTQI. It's a long name, but this name has a lot to be desired. There's a lot that we need to learn from this long letter, and because of that, we are trying to understand. And in our previous episode, we did look into it and try to come to reality. We try to accept the fact that we have this group of people amongst us, not out there. In fact, even in our own homes, even in our own communities, in schools, in our clubs, wherever they may be, we have these people there. People who identify with what we call LL, which means lesbian. G, which means gay, B, which means bisexual. They say that they are attracted both to the both sexes, same sex and opposite sex. And then we have those who identify with, they say they are transgender, and then there are those who are queer, and then there are those who say they are intersex, and all that. So we have this group of people, and they are in our society. In the recent past, they have come out and they are saying they want their space. And you and me have the obligation to know who these people are and to be able to reach out to them and to know what exactly they want and what exactly they are saying, as a child of God, as a member of the clergy. I need to know who these people are, and I need to reach out to them and understand what they want or why they are asking for their space in society. Question is, who are these? Are they there amongst us? Oh yes, they are there amongst us. And therefore, where do we find them? Like in the Bible now, where do we find them? I'm looking at the Old Testament in Genesis. The first time I see men seeking to have sex with men, I see it in the book of Genesis, chapter number 19, from verses number 8. And I can read it in your hearing. I'm reading from the New International Version. It says, listen. But now, let me start from verse number. If I start from number 1, that would be okay, so that you can understand the whole context of what we are reading here, what we're talking about here. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face towards the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly. And they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. What did they do? And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And the Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. First place that you see men desiring to have sex with men is in this chapter of the Old Testament, whereby these men are demanding that the man of God, Lot, would release these 2 men who came into his house, so that they can have sex with them. You know, the Bible uses the word no. It is the same word which was used in the book of Genesis, chapter number 1, where we find Adam knowing Eve. You know, when God made Adam and Eve, the Bible says that they got to know each other. That Adam knew Eve. In other words, Adam had sex with Eve. Now, in this place, in chapter number 19 of Genesis, we see a situation where these men wanting to know the 2 men that entered into the house of Lot. You see, the issue of gayism or the issue of homosexuality seems to date back to the days of the Bible, to the days of Genesis, that as long back to those days, this practice was there. Now, how it came about, I do not know. And my desire or my goal is not so much to know how these came to be. All I want to tell you, my brother and my sister out there that are listening to me, is that we have these people that the Bible acknowledges that they are there. Yeah? You see the man of God, Lot, saying, oh, let me give you my daughters who have not known a man. In other words, let me give you my daughters who are virgins. Let them come out and have. You can do to them as you please. But these men of Sodom say, no, we will not. We want to have sex with our fellow men. You see, it is there in the Bible. It's clear there. So how come that these men are not interested in having sex with women, but they are interested in having sex with fellow men? Where did this come from? How does it happen? Do we have somebody out there who also feels like that? Feels like you have no interest in the opposite sex? That your interest is in the same sex? Are you there? And if you're there, what do you think? What will you say? Because what we see from Genesis chapter number 1, from the beginning of creation, we see God creating a man and a woman. We don't see God creating 2 men. We don't see God creating 2 women. We see him creating a man and a woman. So what happens along the way? You know, my reading of the scriptures tells me that when we came to chapter number 3 of the Bible, we see what we call the fall of man. And the fall of man, as a result, we start seeing what God created being turned around. So, can we say that probably the fall of man brought out these changes? That instead of men desiring to have sex with the opposite sex, that's women, they started desiring, their desires changed. Could it be the result of the fall or the result of sin? Can we rightly say that probably it's because of sin that we are seeing this? It looks so much likely. To me, it looks so much likely that what we see happening here is expressly a result of sin. It is not how God intended it to be. It is not God's design. We see God designing a man and a woman. And we see God giving them the leeway to have sex between them. But now, why do we have this extraordinary situation here, which is confronting our society, where men now are no longer having feelings towards the opposite sex or towards women, but they are having feelings towards fellow men. Women are having feelings towards fellow women, whereby we are finding men or people who are created to be, the anatomy is showing that they are men, saying that they feel like they are women. Or those who their anatomy is clearly shows that it is a female, saying that they feel that they are men. Why this? How can we understand this phenomenon? I don't know. If you can drop me a comment on that comment section down there and just show and just tell me how is it, how do you find this to be? If you are probably a person who's religious like I am, how do you see that mix coming up? Why do we find this very? Is it true, or do you think probably these people have been socialized to become what they are becoming? Could it be because of the company that they are keeping that is the one which is making them want to do things which are opposite from what is known to be the norm? Could it be inherent? Is it something that is inbuilt in these people? Can we blame their biological or setup or makeup? Or can we blame the creator of heaven and earth who made them? Is it true, as some claim, that they feel they are created like that? What do you think? We are moving on to our next episode, where we will be able to understand a little more about this issue of LGBTQ. Can we understand from those probably who have been there, what is it? How have you come to say that you are gay? How have you come to say that you are lesbian? How have you come to say that you are bisexual, that you are queer, and all that? Is it physiological? Is it psychological? Is it something that you have been socialized to? What is it? What is it? Why is it that these men are desiring to have sex with the same men and refusing to be given the virgins, Lord's daughters? Until next time, when we are able to look at the next episode, I want you to contemplate about these things and probably drop me a comment, if you don't mind. Let me hear your thoughts about it. What is it?